Hi guys, Mr. Jaeger here. Nice transition, eh? Well, I keep things original. So, hello and welcome back to IAE 2954. It's Origin Day. Origin Day. It's not my favorite day, I'll be honest with you, but it's a day for it. So, to be respectful to it, let's have a chat about Origin. Origin Jumpworks, for those who don't know, is the rich boys club of Star Citizen. They are the ones who have the luxurious side of ships, the snazzy and overpriced pillows and cushions and frankly rich people who deserve to get shot in the face kind of levels of, well, in terms of arrogance level. Or slapped is probably the more safe term, but still, you know the kind of person who reality, or a bad day for them is when they can't get their favorite amande soufflé sarre bleu from their favorite restaurant because they've overbooked or something stupid. You know, that kind of person. So a knob. But in all honesty, the Origin Jumpworks series of ships, I don't suppose we need to be too harsh against them because, well, they're not the ones. Origin Jumpworks isn't they're not emphasizing the reality of it. They're just the people who build the ships for them. So this is the 890 Jump, famously the largest flyable ship in Star Citizen, and it also has quite a bit of a, well, if you've played this game for a while, you'll no doubt know what this ship, the ins and outs of it, because you'll have played the boarding action on the 890 Jump mission. But if you haven't, then this ship is an interesting vessel to say the least. You've got three-ish ways of getting in. The first is through these airlocks to the side. Second is through, well, four. First is the person sort of hatch at the bottom there. Second is the docking ports to the mid. Third is the underneath the ship, whereupon you have a cargo bay, which we'll get to in a few. And the fourth is at the bow section with the hangar bay. So you enter in from those locations. You are presented with a very big foyer. This ship does have a lot of impressive places to have a view from. And the roof of this thing is also really handy if you're trying to do the mission. If you're trying to do the mission and you want someone to do some reconnaissance of the area. So, be aware if you're trying to do an org event, look up to make sure no one's peeking at you. But going into this next little segment, we have a couple of bedrooms on the side, which is, I will say, they're pretty impressive. They have some nice aesthetics to them. Though, to be fair, when I run into these, I'm not really looking to admire the view. I'm more trying to look for a panel or something on this computer. Well, I think it's a computer. Is that a computer? That just looks like a chip. Either way, I'm basically looking for a connection to a pod thing, because then, the data transmission cyber objective will be then complete. That's what my interests are mainly into. So going into the underside into here, we are presented with with the escape pods on both sides. This particular one has an engineering ladder into the engineering side of the ship, but on both sides of these particular vessels, you have a lift which allows you to lets you call a lift either into the top bay, or it lets you call it into the engine rooms. So as we proceed further afield into here, we are presented into the spa with a very nice waterfall / pool / didn't know that was there. Okay, that's pretty cool. Actually, question, does this thing actually have dynamic water? Oh shit, it does! Nice! That's cool. So the jacuzzi actually works now. Normally you wouldn't have that. And you've then got a sweat box room, which, to be brutally honest with you, is just, you're just in a room with a bunch of sweaty old men or women, but then, you have to be told to leave because no man can stay in the same, no man can be in the same room as a woman in these things. And yeah, it's just a sweat box room. I don't really find the appeal. Again, it's rich people stuff. I don't really get it. Anyway, then you got the shower to wash them off, and then you can head over to the to the middle section, whereupon there is a couple of elevators. These are the core elevators from the upper to the lower central elements. So basically you go from, these take you from the lower floors up to the midsection, up towards the foyer point, which we'll get to in a bit. And then we'll, like a nice changing room, and an actual working pool, if I'm going by the hopes. Does this actually work? Let me jump. Whee! Oh, nice! It actually does work. Yeah, previously when you were in this, it would just be some kind of sort of bluish level and height. Bah! I wonder if he can see me. I mean, he's probably going to see, like, the, I wonder if I can stay here for as long as possible. Because, like, I'm wearing the suit. Fair enough. Anyway. So, yes, the pool actually works now. Nice. I just need to wipe my face off. Yep. But, yeah, no. So, the pool works, which is pretty cool. And we have the changing rooms and everything else like that. That's pretty cool. So, going over to the main room once again, we then make our way up towards the central sort of area, arc thing, whatever the fuck this is called, and we proceed towards the midsection here, which is the foyer and the highest part for the elevators. You then proceed with two exactly the same rooms as you did in the lower section. And then you are presented with some bathrooms, sadly non-functional mirrors, but oh well. And then you are entering into probably one of my favorite rooms in the ship, which is the foyer. This thing is cool. I do like this. I do like this a lot. It is a very nice looking room. It looks pretty decent, and I've had a couple firefights through it. It is very nicely done. I also kind of want to have some of the drinks here because some of these drinks do look really cool. Anyway, so going from here into the next bit, this is a restaurant slash sort of, again, foyer drink location, and people can, you know, grab some drinks and food and do some sort of stuff. And then you've got a one-way mirror, which is pretty cool. And you then have a conference meeting room slash dinner location. Now, famously, I remember now this is a little bit of a historical anecdote, but I am one of the guards of the first ever player meeting in Star Citizen on the 890 jump. The group I was with at the time was BSI, and I can't remember the clan who did the shit with us, but basically it was an, oh yeah, these are the new guns for that. Nice. So basically it was BSI and some other large sort of clan who wanted to sort of have a finger quote player meeting. In all essence, it was more of a photo op to see, you know, hey, look at what we can do, sort of thing. And so there was a bunch of the high executives just sort of sitting down having a meeting with each other. But I was one of the security guards to stop anyone from trolling in and trying to board the ship and do whatever. Because this was back before it was before they updated the process so that people could, you know, before they could have, it was before people could sneak into ships. So people would be immediately told, oh yeah, so-and-so's on your ship. You know, do you recognize this, whatever. But we still had to be careful because some people were still trying to ram into the ship. Some people were still trying to board it and try and take it over, that sort of thing. Anyway, moving to the backroom area here, we have what is essentially a sort of prep room slash whatever. And if we then head through here and onwards, upwards, forwards, we're then going to make our way to the top, whereupon we get to see, again, another big, incredible view. Now, depending on where you're doing this mission, on the 890 boarding mission, it's really freaking awesome to see. Like, it's a great way to demonstrate this game's beauty to someone who's in a first-person mindset. Oh, nice. Oh, can we carry some stuff? Wait, what? Carry? What kind of carry? Oh, I can... Okay. I didn't realize I could move this. Well, it's mine now. Okay, sure. I'm just going to pinch this thing. They won't mind. They can get another one. So this is the captain's quarters. And we can... Oh, nice. So you can... So again, when you're doing missions and stuff, there are occasions where you're clearing this place out. And in my case, more ways than one. But you actually can see into the distance where the planet is. And in terms of visuals, this area is really nice. I do like this room. Respect where respect is due. This is a very impressive looking room. Because you have like sort of like a meeting room / conference thing there. And then you have some kind of like... Oh, well, this is more of a meeting / conference room. The other one is more of like a briefing / whatever. And for some reason, somebody needed a photo of the thing that they're on because they keep forgetting stuff. But there you go. So there's the captain's personal thing. And if we have a look in the back here, here's the captain's room. Yeah, not at all a show off. And there's the bar as well. But it is exactly the same as the other one, so that's fine. I'm gonna keep this entire fucking episode. It's mine. So anyway, as we're making our way into the main foyer, we're gonna head all the way to the bridge. So one of the cool things about this particular bridge is that, well, one of the cool things about this room is that it has quite a lot of sight lines. So if you're trying to do sort of a mission to defend it, you have got, well, you're exposed in terms of firing wise. But you do have quite a decent defensive perimeter as you go into the bridge itself, which is nice. But also, visually speaking, it is quite impressive with its like design philosophy and everything. I'm not an architect, so I can't really say what technical elements are there about it that I like. But it's nice and it looks cool. It looks snazzy for a rich person stuff. So here we got a radar / calligraphy section, and there is the pilot, there's the co-pilot, and there's the other dudes. I think these guys don't get to do a huge amount, or if they do, I think they do the pilot, the remote turrets potentially, but I don't think they do a huge amount. The 890 jump doesn't really, like, in terms of weapons, the 890 jump. You're not fighting an 890 jump, or if you are, you're attacking it, it's not defending itself. So we're going to make our way to the second floor with my pilfered goods. And what we're going to do next is we're going to try and... Oh, there we go. Fantastic. So, we're going to go and try and... Oh, shit. No! Right, we're going to go to the crew kitchen. There we go. So if we want to... There we go, perfect. Oh, God. This is, yeah, I really don't like this lift. I'm not prone to motion sickness, but it does fuck with your vision a bit. Anyway, moving to the kitchen. We're inside the kitchen area with access to the freezer. I'm just going to close this thing up so we save energy. And I'm sure... Oh my god, is that cereal? No. Or it could be. It could be. I mean, you don't know if they have Crunchy Nut in the future. I hope they do. That or Weetabix. Oh. Dude, I would love to have Weetabix on a ship like this. Not going to lie. I just would need to make it hot Weetabix. Hot Weetabix is wonderful. That'll porridge. That'd be nice. Anyway, so this is the crew quarters, I assume at least. Or it's the lower class quarters, whichever it works. I'm going to go with... crew quarters just because it has a lot of repetition to it. So even the crew has it good, not gonna lie. Just gonna pilfer this thing. God, yeah, these recordings are taking it out of me. But no, this is my second favorite room in the ship, which is of course the pool room, because it has a really cool pool room. Like, seriously, the room is cool. The lighting and everything's reflecting from this one pool table. Sadly, it's the European one. I do prefer the American one. But I've played European pool before. I do like it. I do enjoy it. It's a fun game to play, even if you're shit. And, yeah, no, it's actually quite fun. And I really can't wait till they can finally add the physics to the game to be able to make the pool tables. Seriously. Let this be the thing you're doing. Oh, yes. So now we're in the airlock room. And, oh, okay, someone's actually already done it. Right. So this is the fourth and final way to get in and out of the ship. So this is the hangar bay. And basically what happens is you put a ship into here, those doors open up, and I think someone got squished. Let's see, can I open this up? Open hangar bay doors. Can I open these things? Because then it kind of helps explain the whole thing. But basically you can get about an Origin Jumpworks 300 series sized vessel into these things, which is fair enough. And we have a basketball court just in case people wanted to do that. So there are some defenses as well for this ship. It doesn't quite have a few. It's not completely without its bite. So it has a few. Well, it's got. Let's have a look. See, yeah. It's got like 4 size 4 turrets. So it's yes. So yeah, 4 size 6 turrets. Yeah, so M6A cannons, that sort of thing. Nothing too major. It's also got some missiles as well. Size 3 missiles alongside. It's about 8 size 3 missiles for the turrets and defensive systems. Again, this is not really something I'm overly focused on talking about because, well, it's an Origin Jumpworks. There is a turret access over yonder. And then you sort of climb into the vessel and move along with it. So, there you go. There's sort of like a wait... Well, it's literally a waiting lounge, as you can see here. And, finally... we have the... Excuse me. We have the medical bay, which does actually work. So, if you're wanting to have a ship that is way overpriced, but you have a dedicated bed that you can respawn at, 890 jump. Though, again, if you're about to spend a shit ton of money on a vessel that you're wanting to do some exploration with, or doing a long-distance mission with, and you need your own little port to rescue in, Carrick, much better choice for you. And there's the elevator to the other side, so you have access to it. Then you've got some weapon racks, which you can pop into. Again, this particular ship is designed in a way to make things easy for you or navigate. Oh, perfect timing! So this is the third way you can get yourself in and out of the ship, which is, of course, the cargo bay. She can transport a pretty reasonable amount of cargo. What is it, like... yeah, like 388 SCUs worth of cargo. Nothing too impressive, but at the same time, not bad. There's the gravity generator, which I just realized has a back to it. Huh. Oh, anyway, fair enough. But yeah, the A90 Jump, it's a pretty impressive ship, and if you want to sort of show off this ship's glamour and class, you could do so. And this was CIG's sort of main sort of foray into constructing a large vessel. Huh. Never seen it like this before. But yeah, there you go. There's the other jazz. That's a pretty impressive engine load. But yeah, so this is basically... CIG at this point had sort of learnt a few things about building large ships, and while it's not a build... it's not a build that is, in my opinion, yeah, escape raft. I get sketchy about elevators in this ship. Okay, there we go. The Emperor. But yeah, so while this ship is not like a marvel in terms of technical wares or whatever, it is a pretty impressive ship, and if you're wanting to have a celebration in style, I can think of no better vessel for that. But at the same time, I would urge a little bit of caution, because, well, this ship is old. It's an older design. Again, a lot of these things I mentioned about it, so this particular vessel's only like 5-6 years old, but it's still kind of dull. It's literally what you do is you spend forever just... Hopefully no one notices the fact that I've just pinched this from the ship. But no, the thing is, this vessel, with a lot of things Origin Jumpworks related, you're just flying it and show off. It doesn't really serve any purpose. You're not doing any salvaging in him. You're not doing anything special. You're just flying around, and that's the problem. It's literally just that. You don't do anything, and I just feel like that's the problem with the Origin Jumpworks in general. It doesn't add anything to your gameplay. It just is a big fucking ship to fly around in, and that's it. So, yeah. The 890 Jump, not something I'm overly keen on, but it's a vessel that is big and definitely deserves a nod of respect, but that's about it, really. Nothing else too special. So we go from one giant waste of time to a slightly smaller waste of time. This is the 600i Touring Edition. This was one of the first major forays into Origin Jumpworks that CIG attempted to do all the way back in yonder. Now, this vessel is supposedly due for a rework in the near future, but for the time being, we're only getting like the sort of... For the time being, we're just getting what it's... Like, we've got a kind of fixed version, or at least we've got one that functions at the moment, but it doesn't really serve any significant purpose for it. Anyway, we're just going to walk around this particular vessel. So, this particular ship has a few impressive levels and a few moments and all that jazz. I'm just going to walk over to someone. I'm just going to... Just, don't mind me, I just got a chest, please. Just like da 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 da. It's just this random fucker with a. He's just I think I found a new thumbnail. Oh, it's brilliant. I love this. I'm actually going to roll with this the entire episode. So, yeah, this particular ship is obviously not as large as the 890 Jump, but it does have some pretty impressive internals, and it's kind of snazzy, it's kind of flashy, has a few random sort of assortment of stuff. You've got elevators in and out of the vessel. My big problem with the ship is that it has a few... it doesn't have any separate sort of ladder entrances or exits, so you're sort of walking around seeing how big this vessel is or not, and again being reminded of just how much a person who would be owning this is a knob. Again, you can hear the fucking arrogance from whenever they talk. They'll be like, well, my father, he's part of an investment portfolio, and I was able to inherit this wondrous collection of vials and stuff. Anyway, I don't really know how it works, but, Daddy keeps me well fed. It's that kind of bullshit. Again, I can hear the little shits talking about it as if he owns, like, him owning a thing, but his idea of a hard day's work is him having to wake up at 10 o'clock in the morning and arrive by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. If he can make it for that time. If not, he just gives up and goes back to bed. Anyway, so the other thing about this, so as I'm explaining and walking through this room, again, there's nothing of significance for this particular room. Like, I'm walking around here saying, well, this is cool, this is kind of interesting, but really it's a room with stuff in it. Does it serve a purpose? No, it really doesn't. It has nothing to do with construction, it has nothing to do with weapons or equipment, it's just a touring ship. It doesn't serve any real purpose except I want to go there. And, okay, it looks nice for sure, but I don't know. I know this is not the kind of ship for me. I am well aware of that. But I just feel that this, when it comes to Origin, this is the problem with Origin. They do this, And to be fair, this also is kind of shit because where the fuck's your privacy? Good luck trying to sleep in these things if one of you bastards is snoring. I can vouch from experience. I've slept next to someone who was snoring, and it's not easy. Headphones were required. So it's not. And so again, not really the best of terms of designs for that one. Anyway, moving over to the room over here, we then have a bed with what looks to be a very easy chance to have ants going into your face or ears. With this as well, I don't know. I realize I'm just dunking on this particular ship now because I just don't like it, but the thing that gets me about this particular ship is, while aesthetically it's a sign of it's a learning curve from CIG, it has all of the hallmarks and everything else, what it lacks fundamentally is any kind of real purpose other than to just show off. Like, at least with the 400 series of ships, you have a kind of reason. It's an expedition ship. You can you explore, you expand, you do whatever, you do something. But this and this and this and the other version, which I actually like, the touring edition is the figure quote multi-role bollocks. I'm gonna say that for damn sure. Yeah, it's just a glorified transport. That's literally all it is. The Explorer is what exactly? Is exploration module. So this is the exploration module one, but I don't really care about it. So yeah, the 600i and the 890 Jump, two of the more pointless vessels in the Origin Jumpworks category. I would love to be proven wrong, and if you guys like those things, if you do like those kind of ships, by all means, correct me in the comment section down below. Provide me a solid argument as to why you think that both the 600i and the 890 Jump are somehow really good vessels with really underrated capabilities, because other than I don't see it. I really don't see it. They're just yachts. They're just snazzy things. So yeah, prove me wrong. I please ask you. So we're in the second room, and we've been presented with not only the oldest vessel in the Origin series, but also a few of the newer ships to grace the verse. This one though is the old bitch. So let's get this one out of the way. This one is the 300 series, the 300i, the Origin Jumpworks attempt at being the counter to the 890 Jump. 890 Jump, Penguin is what I meant to say. So this particular vehicle has a few distinct differences. First of all, its weapon systems are leaning a little bit less into the impressive side. So you have two size 3. Yeah, one size 3 shredder repeater on the front. You then have two size 3 Panther repeaters, but then you also have a couple of size 2 missiles as well. So nothing too impressive. Well, like, nothing too bad, but not, slightly worse in terms of DPS elements towards it. What's this say? Doors, sealed race. Oh, okay, manual race. So the other thing to look into as a bit of a disadvantage for this ship, and I'm just trying to find the button for it, because you open up this little thing here, but you won't let me find it. So basically, this little undersection here, as you can see by the lining, this is actually where you have your cargo storage. This thing has about 8 SCUs worth of cargo, but the problem is you don't have a hangar bay door in comparison with the Penguin, which does and actually works better. So in this particular regard, you would have to store whatever boxes you could find and hope that they're not too huge, because unfortunately you now have to slink this thing into its own little element. Actually, can I see the thing? Ah, yeah, there we go. So you can see that's where the cargo bay / storagey thing actually is. It's just oh, this game has moments. But anyway, so you can see that's where the internal storage is located off this thing. In terms of vessels, I will say the Origin 300i is okay. I'm not a huge fan of it, and this is not just my personal take on Origin Jumpworks. This is just in my particular case, I don't find this ship very impressive. It's got a relatively reasonable interior, but it's an old style interior. It gives you like one seat, a bed, and that's pretty much it. And it kind of just is there. It doesn't really serve any major purpose. And once again, kind of have the same similar vibes as the 600 and the 890 Jump. Only difference is that this thing, being a little bit more nimble and maneuverable, does give you more uses than, for example, the other stuff would be. And there are other variants of the ship as well. There's the 315, which gives you a exploration variant, which has scanning materials, and it replaces one of the front weapons with a tractor beam. Of course it does. And there's the actual internal cargo bay. So you can see it's not, so instead of it being a practical cargo bay, it's kind of like, you have to kind of, it's not a huge one for that one at least. So has a scanning package and everything else like that. Then you have the 325A, which is a combat variant. It has additional weapons. Well, it has additional... I think it's got slightly better weaponry, or at least for stock weaponry, though I can already see a scattergun at the front, so I'm going to have to rescind that statement. But it also has apparently some better targeting systems, though, again, it's Origin Jumpworks. I don't really think there's a huge amount in terms of impressiveness or things to be impressed by. So that be the 325A with... Oh no, it's a Revenant repeater, not a scatter shotgun. My apologies. Okay, yeah, that, size 4, that's more impressive. So it has a size 4 at the front, size 3 Panther repeaters with quad missiles on the side. That's far better and kind of should be the standard weapon choice for that. But that's the combat variant of the ship, which has more of an aggressive line to it. So Revenant size 4, much better choice in that respect. Then you have the Origin 350R, the racing variant. So it sacrifices some living spaces or accommodations for just pure speed, and it's meant to go super fast really quickly. Same kind of loadout as the 300i, so if you're desperate to go fast and kill things, then yeah, there you go. But the 300 series just to me feels like a ship series I could never get on with. They look ugly. They have very limited amounts of flexibility in terms of what they do, and they're just bland, really dull. I don't know. I just don't like them. I absolutely just do not like them, which is a bit of a shame. But then I will say one of the things a friend of mine says, which is actually kind of a good thing, is I like that I don't like them. Not every ship is meant to be for everyone. So if you do like this vessel, do let me know in the comment section down below, because for sure they'll probably have some fans out there, just not me. So we are now entering further into the middle room with the more newer vessels to enter into the 100i series. So this is the X-Force. Some kind of... Well, it's the new skimmer / bike / personal transport, which this particular variant seems to be well, obviously has the Panther size 1 repeater. Or is it size 2? No, it's size 1. And you have... Okay, fucking GG. So yeah, the Origin X1, which is this one. And it's famously designed to go into the bay of a 400i. It looks really daft, I'll be honest with you. But if you take away the gun, it actually kind of does feel like a proper sci-fi kind of bike. Like, whenever you see the film Oblivion or other things, this is the kind of futuristic sort of thing that people would assume most futuristic bikes would look like. Really stupid looking, but hey, it's got flares to it, and it looks kind of okay. Like, again, it's a sci-fi bike. I can't really comment too much on anything else. But this, on the other hand, this is one of the things that actually made me surprised, because when it first came out, I actually liked it. This is the 125A, one of the 100 series of ships, which is designed to be more of a combat starter ship. So the 100 series of ships is actually a starter ship for Origin Jumpworks, but this one is the combat variant, which has a couple of extra bits of firepower attached to it, which is kind of nice. And if I just get the details, there we go. Yeah, so in terms of weapons and equipment, it's got 4 size 2 missiles. Well, actually, no, it's got 6 size 2 missiles, 2 size 3 Panther repeaters, which is pretty impressive. You've also got a couple of little cargo bay internal with a bed and also a cockpit. The view outside the cockpit is pretty decent. Not a huge amount of views down below towards the front section, but everything else is pretty damn good. The 100i series of vessels was actually so impressive that I ended up buying one as part of an LTI token sort of thing. And it was the first ever Origin Jumpworks that I actively went after, like in terms of owning one. Which, again, I never thought I'd see the day that I would think, I want to go for one of those ships. I mean, the 100 series is probably one of the better things to come out of Origin Jumpworks. There are better ships in Origin Jumpworks now, but that was the first one, or first series of ships, that made me take notice and go, huh, you actually look pretty decent. So, as we approach into the last room before the holodecks, we are presented with a bit of a mute room, but a nice room nonetheless. This is the 100i, the actual OG variant of this. So this is a starter ship with a limited amount of options, a little bit of tiny bit of space with a little cargo bay, a couple of SCUs worth. We have a couple of Panther repeaters on side, not as many missiles as its combat variant, but one thing I do also want to add alongside the effectiveness of the ship is it's actually quite a maneuverable craft. Like, going into the speed side of things, you can get up to a whopping 1,425 meters per second in that thing, and the boost rate is also pretty good. Its fuel tank is, well, obviously it's not as powerful as other things. Like, it's definitely not going to be jumping across the verse, but it's actually pretty impressive for, like, what size of ship it is. The only sort of downsides I could really say that are sort of kind of there is the fact that it's kind of difficult. It's awkward to fly in. Yeah, it's not really. It's kind of low to the ground sort of thing. So basically, well, the cockpit is very much low. So when you want to look down towards things, you're not really going to get a huge overlook in terms of your aesthetics. And also, because it's a very tiny ship, you don't really have a huge amount of room inside, which means you can't really transport much cargo. You could try and put like a personal storage box inside to act as your thing. So you could put like a 2 SCU box in there, and that will be pretty much where it lives for a long period of time. That could be something you could do, but overall, I would say not a great sort of starting ship. Well, not a bad starting ship, but you definitely want to upgrade from it. We now go to a slightly duped box version of the 135. This is the cargo version of the vessel. Now, again, I'm just going to highlight, this thing is bugged. That's not what it should look like. The back of that should be, the back of this should not be out like this. It's kind of broken. But basically, but internally, this is the cargo bay of the 135, so it has access to a much larger cargo bay storage that has 6 SCUs worth of cargo storage. So pretty impressive, pretty nice. Same kind of armament, so nothing too bad. And it has a much nicer kind of coloring to it. I do prefer this coloring. Looks cool, looks a bit sleeker. Same issues as the other one as well. But still, if you fancy the cargo side of things, 6 SCUs worth of cargo, not bad. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Again, just it's a very good starting vessel, and it's definitely a solid choice if you don't know what you're doing. It is better than the Aurora, I will say that. Both the 100i, but probably the 135A, better than the Aurora by far. As much as the Aurora is a good ship, these things do have a distinctive advantage over it. As we make our way finally, though, to the big girl in the room, this is probably one of the only ships in Origin Jumpworks that I would say actually looks pretty damn good. This is the 400i. This is the more recent addition to Origin Jumpworks, and it's a step in the right direction when it comes to their ship design, and I honestly hope they continue it going forward. Because it's compact, but it's practical. It serves a purpose. There is a purpose to this ship. So, for example, the first frontal section of this vessel has with it a little hangar bay for the X1, which is that weird bike thing I showed you earlier. So you'd be putting one of those things in there, and you'd be able to maneuver shit around it. Now, what I would do is, instead of having the X1, is I would have like an actual bike, like the Ranger or something. But, you know, it is a thing that you have. Anyway, moving over to the bay over here. You have a docking bay over there. You've got your ship. You have your suit stuff. You can put the ramp up that helps you climb onto it. So as we make our way into this particular thing, we also enter into the components bay along the side, so you have access to all of the other little components bay. You make your way towards the rear section here, and we are presented with the hangar bay, well, the cargo slash hangar bay, because you can put a vehicle in here. Probably only a TR maybe, or at a push an Ursa, but I don't think you can fit an Ursa in here without making it really awkward. So a TR is probably your best bet, like a Cyclone or something like that. So not a hugely practical vehicle in that respect, sadly. Anyway, let's call the elevator down. Or is it not going to let me do it? I mean, I don't want to drop this in case some bastard picks it up, so... But I feel we may have to. I'm going to plop this down, like... Right, we'll be right back. Right, we'll make our way up into here. We'll be as quick as we can so no fucker can steal it. So, this is the internal bay, and as you can see, all of these really... It's tight. It's definitely tight. But it also is serving a practical purpose. There's the main room. You've got a nice TV. Looks pretty good. The views out the side does look really nice. You have your own little tiny shower. Or no, not shower. Tiny wardrobe thing, which is pretty cool. And then if we make it to the other side, we have access to minor storage suit and safety systems as well as this working... Well, I say working. I believe it's working. Like, you can adjust this and everything, which is pretty cool. And you can adjust the lighting as well. It's more modern, for a few modernizations. Dedicated toilet. Before finally making our way to the bridge, whereupon we will hop into this thing because it does have a pretty decent view. Now that is an impressive view. Oh, we even have some of the UI elements up. So as you can see, this thing is pretty awesome with its view. It's also not defenseless, as you saw by the two size 4... Well, you got two size 3 Panther repeaters on the top, as well as a few decent missile launchers as well. These things really... Oh, sorry. Yeah, so 400i. There we go. There's the weapons. I had the wrong gun. I had the wrong ships up. So you have a number of missiles as well, which is pretty nice. Remote turrets, so 4 size 3 Panther repeaters. And then you've got a couple of Rhino repeaters up the top as well. So you've got quite a plethora of firepower and a decent array of missiles. So overall, I would say this thing is pretty damn nice. Like, as practical ships go, she serves a purpose. She doesn't sort of... It doesn't just do just fancy shit for the sake of fancy shit. It actually has some real practical purpose to it. It doesn't sort of fuck around with it. And it certainly doesn't... Hey, there we go. Right, we need to carry the... No, we need to try and carry this thing. There we go. Right, carry this. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. So, the 400i is one of those ships that I will say serves a very practical, very effective purpose. One which definitely is... one that serves a very impressive lineup, and I like it. It looks good. It works. It's compact. It's efficient. The only things I would say that make it sort of less practical is its cargo bay. The struts in the top means that you have to be kind of careful what vehicles you can put in. There are better ships that do exploration, which is why I probably won't get one, but I like what they're doing with this. There are a few rooms to improve, but the 400i is the nicest looking Origin Jumpworks by far. And that's saying something coming from me. So, as we approach the end of the day, we are presented with a tiny little vessel, the 85X. Basically, it's a little shuttle with no quantum drive whatsoever. Like, 4 size 1 Badger repeaters with a few snazzy features inside. A glorified taxi is effectively what this thing is. You fly it around, you pick up someone, you try and impress her with whatever flying skills you have, before inevitably smashing into something and regretting every element of your life. But anyway, moving on to the next area, we have the second most decent looking Origin Jumpworks ship in the game, which is the M50. This thing actually looks pretty cool. It's got 2 size 1 Badger repeaters, 2 size 1 missiles, and if I had to attribute the A-wing to any particular vessel, I would attribute it as this thing, the M50. It's a dedicated racing ship more than anything, but I've seen enough of these little bastards flying around for pirates and bad guys now to realize that even some of the pirates out there want to have some class and style when it comes to grabbing that booty. So, yeah, the Origin M50, really nice looking, very fast ship, and I've just crashed. Son of a bitch. Fuck you. I lost my fucking... No! And we're back. And I still have my Origin Jumpworks thing! Yes! I was really worried I was going to lose this. It's literally... Literally, I'm just so done with today. I'm settled. I'm all good for today. But yes, Origin Jumpworks, M50, good-looking ship. So, we wrap up today over at the hangar bay, or the holographic bay, with one of the more ugliest vehicles I've ever had the misfortune to look at. Seriously, I absolutely loathe these things. It is the Origin G12. I've never seen a more pointless vehicle in my life. Seriously, it's a moon buggy Lamborghini. That is it. I've said my piece on this particular ship. I don't like it. It is shit. Straight up shit. That is all I can say. That is literally the fundamental elements. It is basically a glorified moon buggy that has the ability to either have an AA variant, a ground transportation variant, and somehow some fucker was able to convince someone in the UEE Navy / Army to requisition a few of these for transportation means. Now, I don't know about you, but I can tell you for one thing, those things are going to last all of about 2 seconds on the battlefield. I know, I feel your rage. You're just twitching with fury. But those things are going to last for all of about 2 fucking seconds before exploding into absolute patheticness. Seriously, it is one of the most pointless, bloody things I've ever seen in my entire time playing this game. But like that, at least the damage is done and we're finally free. Free, I tell you, from the grips of Origin Jumpworks. Now, I realize that I've not given this episode. Well, no, I feel like I've talked my fair share about vehicles in this game, in this particular thing, but this one just doesn't excite me at all. Like, seriously, it's Origin Jumpworks. It's the most dull, boring, and frankly time-wastingest of ship manufacturers in Star Citizen. There are so many better ships in this game, and freaking Origin Jumpworks just does not make them. The only time you ever see a decent-looking ship, it is a very big surprise, because I'm like, oh my god, this thing actually looks good. And yeah, it does, and it's a rarity because of that. So no, I really don't like the Origin Jumpworks vessels. I just think waste of time, not really impressive. But now, the good news is that I get to enjoy... Now, the good news is that we get to enjoy one more day. One more day in Invictus Launch Week, which is, of course, with Anvil. And Anvil gets the cool shit. So thank you all very much for watching. I can't believe we're actually at this point of in IAE already. But, like with all good things, they must come to an end. And sadly, in this particular case, we are approaching the penultimate element towards this. So thank you all very much for watching. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. See you tomorrow, guys. Whereupon I will hopefully have stored this somewhere. Do you think they'll let me out the expo hall with it?